My name is Skyla. I'm the current programming assistant at the Maritime Museum of BC for the summer of 2023. When I first started this position, I never expected that I would be interested in fishing and conservation policy. But alas, I'm hooked. Prior to the European settlement, salmon fishing was the primary source of subsistence, wealth, and trade in Indigenous communities across BC. With the establishment of British colonies and the unification and creation of Canada in 1867, the Fisheries Act of 1868, an act for the regulation of fishing and protection of fisheries, was established to regulate fishing and fisheries across Canada. When researching salmon conservation after experiencing our current exhibit, which looks at the history of salmon fishing in BC, I found myself delving into the question of when conservation was addressed. The Fisheries Act mandated that all fisheries were to be owned and operated by the federal government, but the province had controlled over the ownership of the land, which included the land near bodies of water for fishing. The original act also outlined ways to manage water pollution and the use of toxic chemicals that could harm fish habitats. Sadly, enforcement was very uneven because during that time the priority of salmon fishing was conserved for the state canneries that dominated industry across BC's coastline from the mid-1800s. As a result, the very beginning of commercial fishing, the burden of conserving salmon fell on the Indigenous fisheries, not commercial fisheries. Conserving salmon fishing never fell on the BC commercial fisheries, and instead the burden was placed on the small-scale and Indigenous fisheries. The last amendment of the Act in 1970 still didn't address issues surrounding enforcement. Today, the Act has seen a shift to more enforcement activities towards conservation and water pollution measures to hopefully properly address our salmon fishing industries across Canada. What would have happened if conservation was shared equally between the commercial fisheries and the small-scale and Indigenous fisheries at the very beginning? Would we have more salmon in our Canadian waters? If you are more interested and would like to learn more about the past, present, and future of salmon fishing and conservation in BC, I would highly recommend coming to our museum at the moment, as we have our current exhibit looking at BC salmon fishing and the history of it. I highly recommend. Thank you for coming and thank you for listening. Thank you very much.